So you want to learn how to crochet faster? I hear you. Today, we're going to be learning how to speed up your crocheting so you can whip out those projects super fast. So why would you want to speed crochet? Isn't it all about the process and slowing down and intentionally making things you love? Yes. But if you're anything like me, sometimes you just have a need for speed and you just want to get a project whipped out quickly. So it can be really helpful to know how to speed things up when you need to. Let's talk about hooks and yarn. So first, let's talk about hooks. I prefer simple metal hooks with short necks. The reason I like metal is because it glides simply and easily through the yarn without catching. And I like short necks because due to the way that I hold my hook, it allows me to control it a lot better and make really short movements. You might see some hooks that have longer necks like this, and if that works for you, that's great, but I prefer not to use them because I have to do longer movements, which slows me down. Now, there are all kinds of hooks out there, so many different ergonomic ones and fun shaped ones and colorful ones. So whatever works for you, go with that because that's what's most important. Now let's talk about yarn. I recommend using a smooth gliding natural fiber if at all possible when you're learning to crochet faster because it is just going to glide much more easily along your hook. You want to avoid grippy yarns, and that's just going to depend on the fiber content because those are going to put undue stress on your hands.
Ow! Knights of Columbus, that hurt!
Save those grippier yarns for projects that you can work on more slowly, and for learning to crochet faster, you want to opt for a yarn that's much more smooth. For our demo today, I'm going to be using our Dewy DK yarn, which is a blend of superwash merino wool, silk, and nylon, so it's great for practicing your speed crocheting, and we will put the links for this and the hooks that I'm using in the description box for you. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to start by showing you how to work some single crochets. First, let's talk about tensioning. I tension my yarn just like I do when I'm knitting, just like so. It's easy to pick up, it's easy to drop, and it works for most yarns. Now, I use this for medium to thicker yarns. If you're using a thinner yarn, you can wrap it around your pinky first and then do the same tensioning method. I prefer to hold my hook like I'm writing with a pencil, so like so. I pinch the flat part of the hook, and I really have to have a hook that's got a little flat part here so I can control it more easily with my thumb and my index finger. And then I'm gonna control that loop that is always on the hook with the middle finger of my right hand. So you're in control, you can do lots of easy, quick movements with this hold, and I just really love it. So when you start, you're going to insert your hook into the next stitch, and you're just using your fingers in this motion. So your thumb and your index finger are doing most of the motion. You insert your hook into the stitch, and it's just a quick little wrap around the yarn, and you pull it right back through. Then you piston the yarn up onto the fattest part of your barrel right there. And again, just grab your yarn really quickly and pull it through. So the movement is like this, and you can practice this too while you're not even crocheting, just to get that movement down. I'll show you again. Push your hook into the next stitch, and as you do that, you're automatically pushing it behind the yarn. So that movement's already done. So then when you pull it back through, you're just grabbing that yarn, and it's very smooth. It's all just a nice fluid motion. And you're also going to notice that I keep my hook pointed down at all times. I've seen people crochet where they, for example, insert their hook like this into the stitch and then wrap it around and scoop that yarn and pull it back through. And that's totally fine, but it does take a little bit more time and more twisting of the wrist. So you don't need to do all that motion. You can just keep that hook pointed down. Push it into the stitch, sliding it right behind your yarn, and pull it through. And then the same thing, push it behind your yarn, keeping the hook facing down, and then pull it through. Now, my left hand, it's just kind of hanging out. It's not really doing any work. The index finger is just a place for the yarn to glide over. So it's just holding that. My thumb and my middle finger are what are gripping the crochet project under my current stitches. So I like to get pretty close to the current stitch I'm working on and grab right there. Work your stitch. And then I will often reach up with my middle finger and sort of pull the work down in the back so I can finish off that stitch. So I'll show you again. Insert. And then to finish off the stitch, I'll reach up, pull it down so I have a new grip, and then continue along. So just give that a practice, and you're gonna find it gets easier as you go along, and you can get pretty speedy. Now, here's another thing you can do. You'll notice when I'm finishing a stitch, I piston it like so. If you want to speed up even further, you can actually piston right into the next stitch. For example, go ahead and start your stitch, but instead of pistoning up right here, piston right into the next stitch, and you are already moving into the next stitch. I'll show you again. Piston, boom, right into that next stitch. So that's going to cut that little part out. So let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit and show you what it looks like in real time. So now let's go ahead and talk about double and triple, also called treble crochets. For double crochets, it is going to be essentially the same thing. You have to yarn over first, obviously, to do your double crochet. And then everything is the same. The left hand is just chilling, holding the yarn, and the right hand is doing this movement. Since you don't immediately go into your next stitch like you do with a single crochet, you're going to have to start with a wrap, so you can't piston into the next stitch. I'll show you what I mean. Work your double crochet, and then you do have to wrap it around before you go into the next stitch. But other than that, it's the same movements for double crochets. And triple crochets are the same. You start with 2 wraps, but it's the same movements. Left hand is still, just working those fingers. I do climb up the stitches with that left hand middle finger. I'll show you a little more slowly. Climb. That was a double. Climb. 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 That's just what I like to do. It makes me feel a little bit more in control of my stitches. Now I'm going to show you some double and triple crochets in real time. So what types of patterns are great for practicing? You'll want to opt for things where there's a lot of repeating stitches. So a lot of single crochets, double or triple crochets in a row. That's going to be ideal for you. For example, this is our Iolanthe crochet shawl pattern, and it has a lot of repeating stitches in the rows. So something like this is going to be absolutely great. And we're going to put the link to this as well as some other great pattern suggestions for you in the description box. And ultimately, crochet is a marathon, not a sprint. So don't worry about crocheting super fast. You don't want to overwork your hands. Just try it once in a while. It can be really super fun. All right, you beautiful, scrumptious soul, go out and have a most amazing day because you deserve it. I hope you just soak up this day, and I am going to see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye. Okay. It'll be great in the end. Today we're going to learn how to... Go. Should I start over? You may see some hooks. What I don't like, what I'm trying to say is, you can bing, bing, bing. I prefer simple metal hooks with short necks. That allows me to, sorry. I like, okay. Now, okay. Nailed it. I recommend using a natural fiber yarn or something that's gonna slide and smooth easily.
Slide and smooth easily? What does that mean?
Glide and smooth. Slide and smooth? Slide and smooth.
What is that?
What does that even mean? Did I say those as verbs? Yeah. Gonna slide and smooth. What is wrong? Whoa. All right. Here, I need some food. Bye for now.